Hey, 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 hey. Hey YouTube, this is Rio855, and I'm here to present a documentary called Prince and Michael, God-Given Talent. This is part one. Yes, I want to do something a long time on Prince and Michael. They are the two best artists I have ever seen. In my opinion, I think they are the best. And yes, they're connected. No doubt they are uniquely connected because they are unique artists. And Prince, greatest musician ever. He can do it all. Play all the instruments, sing, dance. Been a fan of his. I'm not going to say a fan, been a friend of his. Almost 40 years listening to his music. Michael, greatest entertainer, one of the greatest stage presence of all time. Been listening to him all my life. And those two, I think, are the best. We can debate, argue, and try to say who's the best. I'm just going to put them together and say they are the two best of all time. And there's no doubt because God-given talent is very rare. It's very rare. Yes. And these two have God-given talent. And I'm not going to get into stats and all that and compare who sold the most records, who did this, who did that. No. I'm just going to give my opinion and tell you who I think, tell you why they are the two best artists of all time. Yes. And this is part one. And I'm going to start off. This is from 1958 to 1979. Yeah, where I think they both was born in the same year. Yeah, they both was born in the same year until they entwined to 1979, where they're both, one had the second album, that's Prince, and Michael had his debut album. And let's just get into this. Prince Rogers Nelson was born June the 7th, 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to Mattie Shaw and John L. Nelson. Yeah, father was a musician, jazz musician. He was named after the Prince Rogers Trio. So I'm going to stop right there with personal. And Michael Jackson. Yes, Michael Jackson born August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, to Catherine and Joe Jackson. Yeah. So they both was born in the same year. And that's the connection right there. Let's get into their childhood. Or basically, we know, starting with Mike, he was singing all his life. So, talent shows with his brothers. You know, he's one of 9 children. I say 10. One of them died, so I'm not going to get into that. But he's part of a 9-family household, and at the start, he was the most talented person in the family, and he took center stage in his early days. So there's no doubt that Mike was going to be a superstar. Yeah. In the mid to late 60s, the Jacksons started building steam. In 68, they signed to Motown. And 69, they debuted. Yes, with Want You Back. I'm not going to get into the stat game. That's just a little of where Mike came. And I'm going to continue with Mike. Throughout the 60s, 70s, into the mid 70s, the Jackson 5 was one of the biggest, as we can say, boy bands out there, or it's one of the biggest groups in the world. Bigger than any of the teen groups out there. Whether it was the Osmonds or Partridge Family, they blew them away. And they became one of the most successful acts on Motown. And it continued into the mid 70s. And they left Motown, and Motown kept the name the Jacksons 5. So they became the Jacksons when they signed to CBS. And in the mid 70s. So that continued with several hits like Show Me Your Way to Go and Enjoy Yourself, and so on and so on. But it wasn't until Mike signed to Epic Records and his Off the Wall album where he exploded and he became the superstar, Michael Jackson. And history was beginning. And like I said, I'm not going to get into that game. We know Off the Wall was huge. It sold millions. And Mike just was the guy. It was his God-given talent. He could dance, he could sing, he had a persona. Stage persona nobody ever seen. And Mike really wanted to please his fans. Yeah, he was the type he liked to please his fans, so he gave it all he got. But everything had to be perfect, and he was a perfectionist, and he gave it all he got. He put it on the line every night. Off the Wall just was a hit. And I'm not going to get into songs I think we all know. Those albums. If you are fans or friends, I say you know the music, so I don't have to tell you. But yeah, this is just the God-given talent of Michael Jackson. And 79 was the breakthrough. So that was the year that he broke through with Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Rock With You, Working Day and Night, and Off the Wall, and many other hits. Yeah, Mike had a ride. So let's get into Prince. Prince was basically back in Minneapolis in the 60s and the 70s. So he was in several groups like Champagne, and before he had started doing solo work with like 94 East, or working on his own with producer Chris Moon, and learned how to produce and write at a professional level, basically. And it started there. Say around 76, you heard a lot of demos, so Prince was trying to get a deal. He went to New York to try to get a record deal, stayed with his sister Sharon, where he was trying to hunt for a record deal. But Prince, who took copyright and publishing in school, didn't want to give up his publishing at that time. They wanted to take it all. So most of his songs that he would have wrote, if he would have signed with one of them companies, he wouldn't have owned anything. So nothing. He wasn't, as far as even royalties, he would probably got screwed. So he did the right thing. And on Hustling in Minneapolis, he hooked up with him, and Prince was signed to Warner Brothers. Yeah, very young age. I think he was 19, and his history was made right there. One of the youngest producers. He had all the control. And in 1978, For You debuted his debut album. One of my best. You know, they say it wasn't one of the greats, but it wasn't a polished album, you know, like the albums that he would do later on in his career. But it was a good album. Chris, For You, the song For You started off great, and he had songs like Soft and Wet, Fall in Love, Baby, and My Love Is Forever, Just As Long As We Together. He had some hits on there. It's still an album I still listen to today. So it's just, for a first album, it was okay. But in 1979, that's when Prince made noise with the Prince album, and I Want to Be Your Lover, a #1 soul hit R&B, and a top 20 pop hit. Yeah, crossed him over. He went platinum, and Prince had arrived. God-given talent, the persona and everything. Prince was compared to Stevie Wonder at the beginning. He didn't have that persona that we know as Prince, with the way he dressed, the relaxed hair and all that. He was the Afro kid that played all the instruments, but I think he wanted to change that persona, and he wanted to have a different stage presence, and then not want to be compared to Stevie Wonder, which he loved. He just wanted to have his own style. Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get into no controversy, no stat game. This is just God-given talent. And as we see, in 1979, that both was doing great going into the 80s. And the connection was there. Prince and Michael. The early personas of how great these guys would be on God-given talent alone. And this was just the beginning of these two cats ruling the world with their music. And they're the two best because the way they sing, the way their stage presence and the songs, it's just like no other. I don't care who. These two are the greatest. And I'm going to stop at 1979 because we're going to do a part 2. Off the Wall and the Prince album. 1970, both was hits. Off the Wall being a multi-platinum album, Prince being a platinum album. And they both was hit albums. And in the R&B community, they were huge. So that's where we're gonna stop at, and we're gonna get into part 2. You know, we're gonna go into the 80s and so on and so on. That's where they made their mark. So this is Prince and Michael, God-given talent. They are the best. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I'll see you in part 2. Thank you. And God bless.